Welcome to I May Be Wrong,
I don't know what this world is coming to.
but I don't think so. We're broadcasting from the greater Nashville area, the home of country music, beyond the borders of political correctness and identity politics. Facts and faith are our demarcations. Truth lights our path.
Here's the Barry White of Podcast Radio,
The Venerable Alfonso Ashworth.
Well, welcome to another exciting episode of I May Be Wrong, but I don't think so. Of course, I'm glad to be here with you today. We got a great program lined up for you in terms of what we're going to discuss about the foundation of this nation and how it's at threat. Of course, as usual, Facebook, we're broadcasting on Facebook Live. If you find me there, you can join me. You can post your comments. You can ask your questions. Also, don't forget that you can share this feed on your page by doing a watch party. Of course, you can do that. We can get all the comments in that we can during this episode. I'm trying to run double duty this morning. I'm trying to keep an eye on what's happening with the hearings with Amy Coney Barrett. They are attacking her on every front. And we're going to talk about that attack this morning, what that means to this nation when a woman of such high quality, of such high standards, cannot assure America that she can be a judge, a mother, a co-worker, a wife. She can do all those things and still be honest and fair juror. This is amazing that we are in a time in America where children are discarded, thrown aside, ignored. And those parents that are out there that are trying to do everything they can to raise their family, to be good parents, that is being under attack as we speak. Don't make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. This election, 2020, from the time President Trump came down that escalator and proclaimed that he would protect the unborn and that he would defend this country to the best of his ability, protect that Constitution, swear an oath to protect and serve this country. From the time that he started doing that, the attacks have been relentless. It has been relentless what this person has went through. So I want to welcome you to the show. If you're in the chat room or if you have a comment and you want to make a comment, please do so, and I will try to read it on air. Before I get started, of course, you can find the show every Wednesday here on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, also on my website at ImayBeWrong.com. You can also become a contributor to the show. I have supporters. You can be someone if you would like to come on the show and be a part of the show. I have had guests on the show that are just average, everyday people who, of course, want to make a comment. We can have you on the show, or you can also become a subscriber to the show. So make sure that you chime in, of course, and have your voice heard. This is the time, as Thomas Paine once wrote, these are the times that try men's souls. The Sunshine Patriot, you know what? We are living in a time to where America, the very idea of America, the very foundation of America is at threat. The very thought of the Constitution, the way we seat judges, the way we protect our borders, the way we educate our children is under attack, a relentless attack, not only from outside, which is a threat enough, that outside forces, China, Iran, North Korea, these communist countries are wanting us to fail. Even some of our allies want us weakened because they perceive us to be too strong. So even our allies in Europe, parts of Great Britain, these places, they want America weakened. And it's not enough that we're dealing with this pandemic, which, by the way, if you're wearing a mask more than you should, you have a higher risk of being infected with COVID. That just came out with the CDC. It's not being talked about, but they're saying 85% of the cases of people who have been infected with this virus, 71% of them proclaimed that they wore a mask, or they said they wore a mask more than 71% of the time. The mask is not the answer to solving the pandemic. The answer ultimately is good hygiene, social distancing, being aware of your surroundings and when you're in a crowd. That's the answer. We should never shut down the country over this pandemic. Even the experts now in some of these other places like the WHO, the World Health Organization, saying shutdowns and longer periods of time do not work to stop the virus. Suicide rates are some of the highest preventable deaths in the United States are suicides. Children are stressed. Children are being denied a proper education. So we have our work cut out, and we have a lot of work to do, and we want you to be a part of that. If you have a comment, you have a question, please feel free to post it in the chat on my web page at I May Be Wrong, but I Don't Think So, or you can do it on Facebook Live, and we will get you on. But welcome to the program. I can see that Facebook is playing Jedi mind tricks with me again. Look, we constantly have to deal with this with Facebook. Constantly. We're dealing with Facebook with this issue. But we're going to go forth no matter what. We're recording. We always record our shows, either podcast for audio. You can go to my website and get it on the podcast on demand. And also there are other shows, previous shows that are there as well in podcast form. We own all the major podcasts. Or you can also go to my YouTube page at I May Be Wrong, I Don't Think So.com. Or you can go there and click on the link and it will take you to YouTube. And you can always see the show in its entirety. But we try to bring it on Facebook Live so that some of the audience there can hear some of this information. Let's talk about the foundation that I'm discussing. What's at threat? What's really at threat? And why is someone or something or somebody trying to destroy our children? Why are our children under attack? Listen to how they're talking to Amy Coney Barrett, a mother of 7. Jeff Trotter says our leaders want the soft and thin-skinned people worried and wondering and trying to make it the rest of us look like we're some kind of wrong or something to discredit us and our system. Exactly, Jeff. Jeff's just posted that. Exactly. They're trying to cripple this country in any way that they can, in any fashion that they can. But why? Ask yourself this question. Think of Amy Coney Barrett as a typical mother in the United States. A typical family, a mother, a father, raising their children, trying to put them through school, trying to put food on the table, trying to give them a safe environment to live in. And Amy Coney Barrett exemplifies what we used to aspire to in America. In the 40s and the 50s, we had TV shows. Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver, all sorts of shows. I Love Lucy, all sorts of television shows that exemplified what we aspire to in America as families. A father, a mother, their children, their friends, and their communities. All aspired to live a life in America and pursue their happiness based on the family. Now let's put this together. E.F. Wilson, buddy, says, yep, that's right. Let's put this together as to where did that change? Where did it change? What happened to the church? What happened to our church families who for many, many years were the beacon, the guiding light in the community? The central point to all our communities was the church. In times of disaster, in times of joy, in times of war, in times of peace, the church was the centerpiece in our communities, not the government. Not the government. The government, the federal government, had very little to do with your daily function. The family. So why is it that Amy Coney Barrett is being vilified because she chose to be married? She chose to have her children under wedlock. She chose to adopt 2 children that were less fortunate and bring them up in an environment that gives them the best opportunity to succeed in this evil, crooked, nasty, hateful, mean, vindictive world. Why are we standing back? Why are we standing on the sideline and watching them attack this person in any such way to where she's being questioned about her choices in life, and she is one of the smartest people in the room? As a female, the feminists should be celebrating this moment in history, that this young woman has taken the place of a person that was a torchbearer for women. Speaking about, of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I did not agree with her stance on abortion. I will not agree with anyone's stance on abortion if it's for murdering the innocent baby in a womb. Jeff says, after killing of Kennedy, the Democrats have pushed the plantation in changing the weak and needy population to put all their faith and trust in them, noted of being a strong and prosperous country of all of its people. Buddy says, to be good has become evil, and evil swamps the power. That's right. Power corrupts, and absolute power has corrupted absolutely. Listen to people like Nancy Pelosi, how she talks about women like Amy Coney Barrett. They look down on them. Why? I dare you to have children inside of wedlock. I dare you to have a big family. I dare you to be a partner in your marriage. I dare you to lift your husband up. I dare you to go out and try to live a life and be a professional and be a mother and be a family and show the rest of the world how it's done. I dare you. This is how they're treating the foundation of this country. This is all me, all this 30 minutes. You're not going to get any videos, but you're going to get an audio clip. You listen to Margaret Sanger and what she had to say about the greatest sin in the world. Guess what she called the greatest sin? Listen.
Do you believe in sin? When I say believe, I don't mean believe in committing sin. Do you believe there is such a thing as sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin.
Listen, she said the greatest sin in the world is to bring a child into the world because of disease, because of poverty. Where in the Bible, show me in the Bible, anybody, I want you to post me something in the chat room right now. Show me anywhere in the scripture where it said don't have children because of sin in the world. don't have children. Murder your children because there's sin in the world. Listen to her again.
Do you believe in sin? When I say believe, I don't mean believe in committing sin. Do you believe there is such a thing as sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world.
There you have it. This is Margaret Sanger. If you don't know who Margaret Sanger is, she is the champion of the Democratic Party. She is idolized by people like Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and the likes, who lift this woman up as a champion, who started Planned Parenthood, who said that black children were weeds and weeds needed to be destroyed. She said it. I didn't say it. And if you're a black voter and you vote in Democrat, you need, especially if you're a Christian, you need to check yourself. You need to go get the facts as to what has been happening and why the black population is in decline, while other populations are in the rising. The Latino and Hispanic community are actually growing, while the black community is murdering its babies by the thousands every day. EF says, I'll say it again, we are dealing with demons, which are formerly the DNC. Let's see what she said. Let's see what Margaret Sanger said when she said no more babies.
Parenthood Federation maintains that European women should stop having babies for the next 10 years.
Don't you think such a theory, such a radical theory, is antisocial?
On the contrary, it seems to me that it is more practical and humane.
What about the women who want babies now and in 10 years will not be able to have babies? Rather impractical, don't you think?
Oh, John, you do ask hard questions. I should think that instead of being impractical, it is really very practical and intelligent and humane.
This country, having babies is the only thing left which is both unrationed and untaxed. Do you think we really ought to stop?
Well, I suppose a subject like that is really so personal that it's entirely up to the parents to decide. But from my view, I believe that there should be no more babies.
Listen to that wicked and evil, that spirit of evilness that hates babies so much that she would say the only answer is no more babies. This is the champion of the Democratic Party, and you as a Democrat, if you're voting for this and you're standing in line to vote for this, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should go pick up the Bible and you should go read what it says about the womb being a heritage unto the Lord. That a womb, the mother's womb, the baby is a heritage to the Lord. He says pompous blue bloods, the rest of us bleed red. Yeah, this is the real deal. This is how things happen when you sit on the sideline and pretend like you don't know what's going on, but you're going to go stand in line and you're going to go vote for these Democrats because that's the way your grandpa voted. That's the way your grandma voted. And this is why we have to vote, because we can't have this evil orange man in office and he's there and he's trying to destroy us and he's trying to get us out. Well, I'll tell you what I say. I say what Trump says.
If you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
There you go. It's that simple. That's that simple. But see, they don't want to leave. They say they'll leave. They say they don't want to stay here. But what they're doing, they're undermining this country through our schools and education. Do you realize at the moment that millions of American children are not being properly educated because of a virus? Now, let's keep this in mind. If we can go by the science, if we can trust the science says that 85% of the people who have contracted coronavirus, 71% of them wore masks often. 71%. Do you realize that this particle of this virus is as small as 1 micron? Now, if you don't know what a micron, if you don't have anything to relate it to, your hair, your one strand of hair is about 20 microns. So that means this particle is smaller than a speck of dust. And you think a mask is going to stop this virus that is smaller than a speck of dust and much smaller than a thread of hair on your head, but you're going to trust the science. You're going to trust the science. You're helping these people destroy this country systematically through our education system. They're denying our children the very foundation of this nation. They're denying them a proper education. I'm hearing that they're starting to outsource. I'm hearing that some of these virtual classrooms, the teachers that would normally teach your children are not the ones teaching the class any longer. These classes are being outsourced. Outsourced where? Outsourced to who? Is some Chinese person teaching your child now? You have no idea. Everything is virtual. You don't know who the person is that's on the other side of that camera. You have no idea. They could dress up like Mother Teresa and be teaching your child to hate this country and to hate God and to hate everything that God stands for. Jeff says openings to the left and the right because north and southern borders have become closed to us by our governments. But he says the beast is teaching them. Exactly. 1 Peter 5:8. Satan walks to and fro upon the world, upon the earth, seeking whom he may devour. While you sitting over there enjoying your latte and enjoying your morning, your child is being inculcated by the likes of people like Nancy Pelosi and those who want to destroy your family. Why won't Nancy Pelosi work with the president to pass this spending bill or to pass this recovery bill to where people can get money in their pockets to pay their bills? She's so angry about this. She hates Trump more than she loves this country. This Trump derangement syndrome they have. They hate America. They hate everything it stands for. They hate the family. They hate what the family means. This is why they want to change the very definition of the word family. Alternative lifestyles. You can no longer say that homosexuality is a sexual preference, when we know that many of them that are practicing this has admitted that they didn't start out this way. Some of them decided later in life that they were homosexuals. So the minute you now say, and I'm telling you, I'm not for condemning you. That's not my job. I'm not judging you. That's not my job. I'm just stating facts. That the attack on the traditional family is of Satan. It's an evil entity that's trying to destroy the very foundation of what God put in place, the family. Jeff says they're dumbing down future generations. And with such things as Common Core math, slowing down those kids who do well, giving slower kids an actual chance to learn. You know, if you're a parent, your job, your number one job, is to protect your child as parents. To protect them from anything that may influence them, from anything that may try to harm them, from any force that may try to snatch them away from you and destroy their lives. That's your number one job. Not to make money, not to become famous, not to go run for political office. Now, if you can do all that and still be a good parent, like Amy Coney Barrett has done, she's a prime example. You can go all the way to the highest court. You can go all the way to the top and still be a good parent. So far, they have not been able to bring one thing out in these hearings that has said anything derogatory about her being a parent. If they do, the Democrats have just drove the nail in their political coffins. They're wanting to. They're questioning her in certain ways to imply that she somehow has not been a good mother, If she's not for abortion, if she's not pro-abortion, if she's not for a woman's right to choose an abortion, then in essence, she's not a real woman. Just like Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him and you're black, you're not really black. They're disgusting. They're pulling every dirty trick they can do, but they cannot stop the Trump train. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but you go check the record for yourself. Make an honest assessment. And of course, also conclude that no one's perfect, none of us. Donald Trump has not lived a perfect life. But compare his record as president to the last half century. And his record, far and above, exceeds any other president we've had in my lifetime, and I'm 58 years old. Jobs. More jobs than ever. The economy. Best economy ever in history. Now the Democrats want to take claim for it. Security. Less wars. More safe. More of our enemy on the run than ever before. Peace deals. More peace deals with Israel. President Trump has just been nominated for his 4th Nobel Peace Prize. Even the virus couldn't keep him down and out. The man was bounced back in 3 days. Ready to go, out there campaigning. City to city, place to place, anywhere he can go. And they're telling him, don't do it, see, don't go out there. Why? Why don't you want the president to go and campaign before the American people? So we can get somebody like Joe Biden that's already going to sell you down the road to China through his son and through his family? Buddy says these hearings allowed us to see the evil of the DNC. Hey, you got that right. The Horona, the representative from Hawaii, she's evil, she's wicked, and she's mean. Dick Durbin, evil, wicked, mean, cold-hearted. Talking to Amy Coney Barrett any such way. Kamala Harris is talking right past her as if she's got a right to talk at all after the waxing that she got from the Vice President Pence in the debate the other night. This is what they want you to let them run the country. Well, if you want to sit in the sideline, you sure can. Jeff said he's a man of and for the people and a man of his word. President Trump, promises said, promises made, promises kept. He building the wall. The only thing stopping him is the courts. The Ninth Circuit is stopping him. That ain't stopping his need and desire to build that wall because he's building the wall. He's bringing the troops home. He's solving our economic problems with the world, trade deals. He got rid of NAFTA. He replaced it with something better for us and Canada and Mexico. What else does a man have to do to get some credit? But of course, as always, promises done thus far, Sherry Lee Hughes says, yeah, the promises he's made, he's kept them. The only thing has stopped him is what the lies that have come out of the media, the lies that have come out of the Democratic Party, the party of socialists, Marxist socialists, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Kamala Harris. They're all socialists, Marxists, and they want to take this country down the tubes. Destroy its foundation, destroy its children, destroy their way of life, take control of America, take control over your lives, control the means of production. You'll be working for the government. I'll be somewhere fighting my way through prosperity because I refuse to kneel down before Marxists and socialists. I'd rather die standing fighting than to kneel before them, give up my faith, give up what I believe in, and sacrifice my children and my grandchildren and their futures than to have the people that's up there right now talk about family, talk down to people, and murder your babies. So there you have it. As usual, I want to thank you for chiming in today. Some people may or may not have things to say. Sherry Lee, he says Lucifer, but he says amen. So we got a lot of work to do by November the 3rd. So keep it up. Fight hard. Register people to vote. Don't stay at home. Don't listen to the polls. The polls are designed to discourage you and to make you think there's no reason to vote. That's how disgusting this has gotten. Of course, I want to say God bless you. God bless America. And God, please protect our children inside and outside the womb. And, of course, we got a lot of work ahead of us, not only up to November the 3rd, but going forward. And I want to thank everyone that's participated in this show today. And if you made comments, I really appreciate that as well.
You've been listening to Alfonso Ashworth, the Barry White of Podcast Radio. Go forth and share his message. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Remember, no two people can ever occupy the same place at the same time. You were uniquely and wonderfully made. Born an original. Don't die a copy. God bless. Peace.